Welcome to the farm.
Welcome to the farm. I'm Justin. Today we're back in the shop at the workbench, and we're going to do a little work on our Case tractor. Mainly, we're going to try to see if we can't get started on restoring this air cleaner. The first thing we need to do though is try to get this baffle and bowl separated and see if we can't save this bowl, because that is going to determine how the rest of this goes. So let's get started. So a little backstory on this air cleaner if you guys haven't seen the videos. But in previous videos, we spent quite a bit of time trying to get this separated from here. And in doing so, we ended up having to bend up this flange on here. So we'll have to get that all straightened out and cleaned up. And we ended up denting up the bottom of the bowl pretty good. Now this already had a little bit of a crack in it, but as we were pulling it apart, we kind of separated the crack and made it worse. And we left off with trying to get this baffle out of here. I want to try to get it out of here without doing too much damage. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not, but we're going to give it a try. So I got some picks, screwdriver, a little pry bar, and we're just going to see if we can't keep working our way around. Maybe we'll spray a little penetrating oil in there and see if we can get it out. Haha! We got it out. And wow, is that nasty. Look at all that, just dirt and debris and rust. Whew! That's pretty gross. So, two pieces apart. I did cause some damage to the baffle, but this thing is pretty rusted and pretty much gone anyway. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do about that yet. But I think for now, let's go ahead and see if we can't get this bowl cleaned up and see what's left of that. All right, so I got it cleaned up the best I can in the parts washer. It's still looking pretty rough on the inside, but I'm hoping we can clean that up. So like I said before, we got this big crack here, which has got a big dent in it. I'm hoping we can kind of form that back out, form out some of these dents I put in trying to get it apart. And then we also have a tiny little hole right there that we're gonna have to try to patch as well. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is see if I can get some wire brushes and some sandpaper and stuff and just get this cleaned up a little bit more and make sure we don't have any other little real thin spots or holes in this thing. So I spent a couple minutes cleaning up around the crack here with a Dremel and a little wire brush. And then I spent a few more minutes, probably about 10 total, just going around with a ball peen hammer and just kind of letting the weight of the hammer hit inside where I had all those little dents. And I gotta say, I got it pretty smooth, probably about as smooth as I'm gonna get it. So I think the next step might be to fire up the welder and just see if we can tack in very carefully all these cracks and smooth them out and see if we can make this thing oil tight again. Before I bring out the welder, I think I'm going to spend a little bit more time just cleaning everything up, because I did hold this up to a light this way, with the light shining from the back, and I can see a couple other little pinholes. Obviously, we got the big crack here. We got a little hole here that I circled. I got 3 little pinholes right here, and then I also got a little pinhole right here. So I think before going ahead and welding everything up, I should probably get this all cleaned up, wire wheeled, and make sure I got no other little holes, and see how bad this thing really is. All right, so I spent a good bit of time going through and wire brushing as best as I could. I did find a few more spots. I got another one here, I got 2 here, that got a little bit bigger, found another spot here. And I'm sure a lot of some of these other little divots and pock marks are really close to going through. But I think what we'll do is we're going to fire up the welder. Let's try to just real carefully tack those spots back in. Then we'll grind it smooth and do another light test and see what it looks like. All right, well, I have no idea if this is going to work or not. I got the welder set to the lowest possible setting. I got 0.24 wire in here, smallest wire I can get. And we're just going to do little quick buzzes, and hopefully we don't completely melt through this thing. Let's find out. All right, so I got spots welded up. I have no idea how that went. I don't think it went well. But let's grind some of this weld down and see what we're left with and if we patch these holes. All right, so I went through, I ground it down, found all the other little holes, touched it up again, and as far as I can tell, I think I got all the holes. I see, maybe. Yep, I see 4 more. So I got a little more tacking to do. All right, so I've gone round and round with the welder now. Inside, outside, ground it down once, and I think I got all the spots. I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna pour some water in here and see how bad it leaks. Oh yeah, it leaks bad. Every single spot. So that is not working at all. All right, so I've been welding and grinding for a little while now. Let's fill it up one more time and see how many leaks we got now. So we got one right there. Got one right there. And one right there. So we're down to three small spots. All right, so this is gonna be my last attempt of the day here, and we'll see how it works. I really don't have high hopes for any of this working, but we won't know until we try. Worst case, if I mess something up, we're no worse off than we were before. We just got to try to find a new bowl. So I'm just applying flux to all the spots that I had welded, and hopefully I can run some solder over this and it'll fill in all those pinholes and we'll be good to go. But again, I don't have high hopes. No, it's just pooling up and running off. Not soaking it at all. Well, this is kind of going exactly how I thought it was going to be. I didn't think this was going to work overly well. I am happy that I've gotten it down to 3 small leaks. So I think what I might do is go get some like JB Weld or something that I can spread on those seams now, and then I can sand it smooth, and hopefully that'll seal up the 3 little pinholes I got left. So I'm back from the store, picked up some big tubes of JB Weld, and I went through and I just kind of scuffed the areas with some coarse sandpaper, cleaned everything down with some brake clean and a cloth. So let's go ahead and mix up our JB Weld and see if we can get this to work. Now, I've never done this process before, so this will be a little bit interesting and a little bit of a learning process. But we just need to mix up 2 equal parts of the hardener and the resin. I don't think I need a ton. Call that good. Okay, I think we're thoroughly mixed. So I'm just going to go ahead, start applying it. Try to do some nice, even, light coats. All right, so I kind of put a light coat all the way around the whole thing, and then I went a little heavier where my little welds were, which I got another one right here. I'm just gonna put that on a little bit heavier. But now we gotta let this set for 24 hours, and then we can go back through, sand it, and see how we did. So while that's sitting for the next 24 hours, I'm also gonna take our inside pieces from our air cleaner. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in this bowl. And I picked up some Evapo-Rust, so I'm gonna go ahead and just let these soak for 24 hours as well. And we'll see. I don't anticipate being able to reuse these things, but I am kind of curious to see what happens with the Evapo-Rust. I've never used it before. All right, so it's been a little over 24 hours. Our JB Weld has hardened. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of time tonight, so I'm not going to be able to work on this at all. But the one thing I did want to do is get the parts out of our Evapo-Rust and just see what they're looking like, because I don't want them sitting in here for too long. So let's get these things out. All right, well, they definitely look a lot less rusty, and they're in pretty rough shape. This this one's got a lot missing from the center. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these rinsed off, and we'll take a better look at them. All right, so here are the pieces all rinsed off. I think this piece here we can probably salvage. I can straighten this back out, spend a little bit more time cleaning it up, and I think we'll be able to reuse this piece. This one, however, is pretty rotted out. At least this center section down here in the bottom is, a good chunk of it's gone. So we may have to do something with this. Even like right here, this is all rotted out and rusted. I can see straight through it. So I don't know if this piece is going to be savable. We may have to make or find something to replace this. But I'm happy with that. I think that worked awesome. I'll definitely be using Evapo-Rust again. And we'll come back out another day to look at that bowl. So we'll see you then. Okay, so our bowl has been sitting and drying now for over 48 hours. I got a little bit of time tonight, so I figure we'll see if we can't work on this a little bit. Now the plan was to go through and just sand this all down, make it look all pretty, but I think before I do that, I'm actually gonna do my water test and make sure it's not leaking first. Ooh, that's a good sign. I don't see anything dripping yet. Towel's dry. Maybe we got this thing watertight. Let's dump this out, get this sanded, and we'll do another test. So I have no idea how easy this is going to be to sand. So what I ended up doing is I picked up some sanding sponges and I got a bunch of different grits. I'm going to start with a very coarse 80 grit just to really knock down all the high spots, and I'm going to work finer and finer to get a nice, more smooth finish for painting. So let's go ahead and get started with the 80 grit. All right, so I went through, I got it real rough sanded. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop down to the next grit and see if I can't get this to start smoothing out some of these scratches. All right, so I think I got that sanded down pretty well. And I think we're ready to put some primer on it. And I'm probably gonna end up priming the inside too, just to kind of protect this. But I might actually get some rust inhibiting paint for the inside. But for now, let's go ahead and put a little bit of water in this, give it one more test, and if it holds, we'll throw some primer on the outside of this thing and see what it looks like. I think we're looking good. Feels completely dry. Oh, I'm happy about that. Let's dump this water out, dry it off, and throw some primer on here. So take a little acetone. We'll give this thing a quick wipe down. Get any last debris or oil off of it. Let's hit it with some primer. Well, there we have it. The bowl is fixed. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. There's a couple spots like right here and right here where it probably could have used a little more of that JB Weld just to fill in the dent, but overall, with the condition this thing was in, I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. So I'm just gonna go ahead, let this dry, and in the next video, we'll move on to some of the rest of the air cleaner and hopefully get closer to putting that back on the tractor. Just want to say, hopefully you guys found this interesting, entertaining. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.